welcome back to the Raw and Real podcast. I'm so excited because we've got another one of our headline speakers for Real and Raw Live joining me today, Harriet. Welcome to the pod.
Good to be here.
I am so excited to have you. And also, I actually love the fact that you're a fellow Brit because so many of the people coming to Real and Raw Live and also in my world, I love my American friends. I love you all. But it's also really nice to meet with a fellow Brit.
Totally agree. And I really understand that. I meet and connect with so many people from Europe, from US, but it's wonderful to have more people within the UK stepping up, shining and leading.
Absolutely. So Harriet, on the pod, we literally just let this conversation free flow. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Real and Raw Live because we are only 10 days out. Oh my God.
So exciting.
I was just saying off camera to Harriet just before we press record. I'm past the nerves now, and now I want the day, right? Like I just want to be here. I want to immerse in it. I want to, like for me, and this is like my selfish part of it, like I want to be that person who is now the other side of it. And I'm really excited. And for myself as well, right? To like finally be that version of me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you're stepping up and shining in that way by creating this Real and Raw movement. So I know that you're already in a space to hold this event for a group of women that are going to expand and rise and step into their next level. But as you say, and I think that's what's so beautiful, every time we speak, every time we teach, every time we hear another speaker, it's an opportunity for us to continue rising. So I'm super pumped, super excited about it as well.
Amazing. I cannot wait. And I just love, like, what I love about the Real and the Raw world is that I don't have to sit here and kind of pretend that I've got it all together, right? Like I can be so real and raw about it. And like I have been obviously on this journey, and there've been moments where, you know, I've been like crumbling behind the scenes with like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make it all happen? And obviously there have been the moments of the elation and, you know, the evolution and the kind of solidifying of that next chapter. But the freedom to like share and show it all is just so liberating. And yeah, that's just what I love about this movement. It's like you don't have to keep up any pretenses. You can just be it all.
I think that's what's so important though, right? I heard an expression, it's probably been around for ages, but I heard it recently and I just think it's fantastic. It's like your messy magnificence. And it's that understanding. And this is why I love so much what you're doing with Real and Raw. And it's just a pleasure and a privilege to be able to support this and be part of it. But that's what people need to hear, right? You know, you've just shared, it's so liberating for you. We're free to express ourselves exactly as we are. But what does that mean for the participants? What does that mean for the people coming? It means that for them sitting at home, going through these messy, magnificent moments, that they seem like, oh, I'm not alone. And if Claire can do it, I can do it. If Harriet can do it, I can do it. If Laurie can do it, I can do it. And no matter what level you are, there's always going to be some messiness, but also magnificence that comes out of it. So I love that you're so open. And I'm really curious, what would you say for you has been like that real messy moment with this event, with this movement? What's been that challenge for you?
Do you know, yeah, I kind of get asked this question quite a lot, like in roundabout ways. And I think for me, it was actually the journey of like, I had a lot of ego deaths through this. And this has like been coming to fruition for around 6 months or so when I first kind of solidified the date. And I went on this whole journey of, you know, the comparison, the distractions, the kind of going off track a little bit and then having to come back to myself. And there've definitely been, I would say, at least 2 huge ego deaths that I like can really pinpoint along the way. And yeah, I think for me, like the biggest messiness has been coming back to self, right? It's been like catching those moments, releasing them with love, like never judging myself for it, but seeing it and catching it and getting myself back on track. And now 10 days out, I am like so, like just so many words, like excited, happy, like blessed, like proud as well. Like that's a word that comes up, right? Like proud of myself that it is what I actually always envisioned it to be. And yes, I had those messy moments, but they didn't continue so much that then I lost the whole vision. So exactly. I think for me, that's probably been like the biggest thing. Yeah.
So powerful. And I think even in itself to share that, you know, when we go through those ego moments, sometimes it's hard to admit that and to share it. But I love your openness. And obviously that's the principle behind Real and Raw. But What a beautiful share that can help so many.
Oh, thank you, babe. So I wanna dive into a little bit, because I can't actually even remember how we found each other. Like, our worlds just collided in some way, like mystically. We love that. But what was it for you? Because obviously you are a very seasoned speaker. You know, you are someone who in the past I would have pedestaled. You know, I'm so real and raw, like with you all.
Love
Like, that
it.
is exactly what I would have done. And the fact that you wanted to come into my world, that was really for me like a moment of being able to release that pedestal and really kind of honor myself and be like, you know, it doesn't matter people's experience, people's money in their banks, you know, any of that stuff. When you're really true and embodied and believe in what you do, those who resonate with it want to be a part of it. So I would love to get this kind of your take on that from your side of things and what it was that drew you into this world.
Kind of try to think back. What was the initial moment where we connected? I believe that I saw something on Facebook. I think I must have seen one of your posts or something talking about the real and raw. And to be honest, like, I just love the name, right? Real and raw. And I believe that we're in a time and space where this is more important than ever. And yet for me, from the moment I took the mic, that was something that was so important to me. And there are so many absolutely incredible speakers, amazing leaders. But, you know, you said it yourself, there's still a lot of ego. There's still a lot of this sort of competitive side. There's still a lot of people speaking from stages and then doing something different when they get off the stage, right? And unfortunately, and it's not just in this space, that happens within every industry. So for me, part of our movement, like within my business, our two main slogans, I've got a tattoo of one of them is, oh, missed the camera, is lead with love. And the other one is let's rise together. So for me, that is all around the real, raw, heart-centered impact. Yes, we're running business. Yes, we're here to make an income. But actually, if you truly pour yourself into the impact, the income follows. And yes, of course, there's certain strategies, certain skills, which I know you share with your students. But it's really about what you said, coming out of our head and into our heart, stepping fully into our power and being able to display all of it. I said earlier, the messy magnificence. So what drew me in was literally the title of the event. I don't think I even read the blurb. I just saw real and raw. I want to get on a call with this woman, lady, warrior, whatever you want to call yourself. And when we had that conversation, I felt it from you. I felt your enthusiasm. I felt your passion. I felt you showing up in the same way that your event is all about. And I just said, I've got to be a part of this. It's what we stand for. It's what we talk about. So yes, why would I not join and support a movement that's doing exactly that? So again, I said it to you off camera, but I'll say it again here. And I'm sure I'll say it again at the event. I really want to honor you for the movement that you're doing. This is something that is so powerful. And I absolutely know that for us as speakers, but also for every single person in that room, they are going to experience real, raw transformation, and they're going to rise to their next level in a space of incredible individuals that are doing the same thing. So I feel blessed and grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
And I promise you didn't pay me to say that.
Yeah, it's very, you know, I'm just being so human with all of you watching this, because I am in this vortex right now, like this kind of 2-week period in the run up to Real and Raw Live. And obviously we're doing a lot of promo, a lot of marketing, you know, a lot of speaker stuff behind the scenes. And I'm in this vortex of really feeling so cracked open, you know, like so wide open. And it's like every single word, good, bad, indifferent, like it's penetrating really, really deep. And I know that right now, you know, obviously epitome to what you do, Harriet, but like I am in that fire, right? Like I am literally being forged as we speak.
Yeah.
And this is what I preach. I love that you've got warrior on your name tag. So obviously I talk about warrior leadership, and it's just, it's honoring that, right? It's not having to wait until I'm out of the fire to speak on it or to share about it and be like, oh my God, that was like really stretchy right then, but now I'm here. It's like, no, it's stretchy now. Like I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
And sharing that and showing that like along the way, I just feel it's so empowering for anyone who gets to see that and be part of that. Because it's like the biggest permission slip you can ever give them. It's like, look, I'm doing this, right? Like I'm doing it. There is stuff that I am I say freaking out. I'm very, very grounded at the moment with where I am, but there's tech stuff, right? There's logistical stuff that I'm a bit like, little bit apprehensive because I'm a one-woman show. I haven't got a team. I haven't got anyone there supporting me. Like, I am holding and doing it all, and I know that I'm capable, but equally, there's that feeling of,
But again, it's speaking to that. And not only, look at what it's doing and has done for your journey. And it's an example. I said a moment ago about speakers kind of being one way on stage and a different way off stage. And for me, you are an embodiment of what you're talking about. And I think there is no better way to land a message by being your message. So I think it's outstanding. And I honor your openness, and I'm like, yes, we've got another real raw speaker up in here. And as something else, I of course have seen a lot more of your information and read more about the event since I joined you.
Since you were just like, I'm there.
I was like, I'm in, real and raw. Then I spoke to you. We vibed. I felt your energy, felt your enthusiasm. I'm in. I don't need to know anymore. I'm in. And I think that's part of what you're going to speak about on the day. The frequency that you're in. Like for me, I've got to a point, and again, it's taken me a long time, and I still wobble with it. But more often than not, I've got myself into a place where I don't need your blurb. I don't need all the jargon. I just need to connect and feel the vibe. Is it a yes? Is it a no? And for me, it was just an instant yes, I'm in. But as I was going to say, I think something that you're going to speak about, and again, I'm kind of new into your world, so I'm excited to see more about what you do. But, we talk about this frequency. We talk about attraction. Yes, playing your part, but how you do what you do makes such a massive difference. And we've kind of given the practical way that we met, and you asked me how I came into this space. And just then when you were speaking and you said about your warrior leadership, for me that's just another divine synchronicity, like the real world, the authentic warrior leadership. You've just been talking about going through the fire. I'm a fire walking instructor. Like there's so many divine, it's not just that we vibed, it was that we attracted each other. It's that we're both standing for something super important. And so there's no surprise that we came across each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you want to go even deeper into that, the way that we lead ourselves, right? Like the way that you feel the energy, you feel the frequency, you trust yourself enough to know that it's a full body yes or a full body no, and you honor that either way. I'm exactly the same with anything that I buy, whether it's mentorship or, holidays, houses, whatever it is. It's like,
congratulations on your move.
Yeah. Like, I just do it. I don't think about it. I just do it. And sometimes then I'm like, okay, how am I going to make all this happen? But that's how I act. And again, no surprise that we're both like that, because obviously our frequencies are at that level where they just magnetize each other. And I truly believe, and I was saying this yesterday on the podcast with one of the other speakers, every single woman coming, and, we can talk about numbers and all of that, and that has been a huge ego kind of journey for me as well. And now I can say, and I'm so proud of myself for being at this point. I can say we have got 25 fucking women, right? 25 fucking women. And there was a point, I'm not going to lie here, there was a point where I was a little bit embarrassed, and I was like, does that mean this is a failure? Does that mean I haven't done this well? I haven't marketed enough? People aren't getting it? And I went on this whole journey, and I was like, this is exactly what it was always meant to be. This was the vision, right? I didn't actually want a huge conference. That was when I got kind of distracted. What I wanted and what I stand for is intimacy, is connection, is exclusivity. I want to actually have a conversation with every single woman in that room. I want to hug everyone. I want to be there with you all. And this now is exactly what it was meant to be. And just going back to what you're saying about frequency, there is not one person coming in that room that I don't have some kind of backstory with, whether it's a podcast, a transmission, a closer space that we've been in together, whatever it is, we've met in real life, there's been a connection. And I know that everyone there, just the energy, I just know the energy it's going to be so high. People are flying from across the world to come here. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I remember that experience at one of my first events that I ran. I was very blessed to be in a space and it was my event, but he was very kind to sponsor it and sort of shared it. And as you say, people were flying in from everywhere, and it's like, oh my goodness. And you feel like this responsibility, don't you? Like, whoa, they're flying in from the US, or they're flying in from here. Like, oh my God, they really want to be here. We got to make sure that we really deliver, which I know that you're going to. But there's something else again within that. Numbers are not a recognition of what you're doing. And do I believe that this Real and Raw deserves to be in a freaking stadium with thousands? Yes. But actually, and I'm so blessed to have had so much experience. You know, I've spoken to thousands of people. I think 8,000 is my biggest so far. But then I run 6 people masterminds or 30 people events. And what I really see, like, yes, I love the big energy of arenas and those spaces. But actually, you're talking about deep transformation. You know, I think one of the things that you share in your marketing is this is not surface level. And whilst I do believe that shifts, insights, and growth happens in massive audiences, actually, the real deep transformation, you said the word yourself there, comes in a space where people feel connected, they feel safe, and they're ready to open up. That's where true transformation happens. So, and I believe we're going to have a few more, because you and I haven't spoken about, I was very blessed to have some guest tickets. So I think we've got 28 and I'm still going to keep going. But irrelevant of that, it's a small group. And therefore, there is going to be so much deeper connection, love, opening, time for the participants to share, a deeper immersion into the exercises and the facilitation that we offer. So actually, it might not be big numbers, but I truly believe it's going to be even more powerful because we're a smaller group.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And people, you can interpret this whatever way you want, right? But I'm just being me here. You know,
Let it out.
This is my first ever in-person event that I've hosted. You know, we could go into, well, don't play small and all that kind of stuff. And I think actually for me, 30 to 50, that was always my original vision. And for my nervous system, that feels really freaking good, you know, but also stretchy, like it still feels stretchy, but it feels like I'm ready to do that. I'm able to do that. And yes, of course, I would see it through if there were more and I would still do it, but I would probably not feel as grounded. I would probably not feel as empowered as I do right now. And you know what? I'm just owning that. Like, I am owning the hell out of that, because for me, out of all of my experience of doing all of these different things, I know that when I can come at something and it's stretchy, but equally it's like, this feels good, that's like my sweet spot. And that's where I'm really able to excel myself. So yeah, I just feel really good about that.
And I think it's, you know, what you say and what you teach as well. It will be a reflection of where you're at. So if you did have more people and you were flustered, the event wouldn't be as meaningful. But because you feel solid in this and you're ready with this number, you know, like you say, who knows where this is going to grow to? Like, let's hold the vision and set that now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Going, but everyone starts somewhere. I recently did an event with a lady called Marie Diamond. She's absolutely magnificent. She's one of the Mind Valley teachers, kind of the secret behind the secret. She was in that movie, and we were discussing along this exact topic, and I was asking her, you know, like, how was it when you got started? And for her first ever in-person workshop, and I think this is lovely for both you and our listeners here on the podcast to know, her first ever workshop, she put out her invites. This was like way back in the day. She's been doing this a long time, before email, before social media, you know, like flyers through the doors, posters in the post office and shops, all that sort of stuff. And she spent months sharing it, you know, and she thought, at the very least, I'm going to have like my friends, my family. I hope like my mom or my husband will come and support me. And you know, at her very first workshop, no one showed up. She had a room of empty chairs. And yet, in the same way that you've just been speaking about, right? Going through the fire, feeling the messy magnificence of it all. I think there's many people that would have been in that situation and would have gone, oh, well, there's no point. I'll go home. And you know what she did? She stood in that room, and instead of letting the workshop just dissipate, again, it wasn't a time of social media and going live and all the rest of it, but she stood and she delivered that workshop. And in the chairs and the seats in front of her, she imagined the souls and the impact that she was going to have. And now obviously like 40 years later, she's touched over 500 million people. She's shared her impact widely, but it started with an event where there was no one in the room. So I want to honor you. I think 30 to 50 people for your first event is absolutely amazing. And I want to encourage anyone that's listening to this, if you just get a tumbleweed at the beginning, still do it. Show up and shine. Speak to the millions that aren't in your world yet. I just think it's magnificent.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's so many things to that, because I'm like, firstly, it's like not comparing your starting point to someone else's legacy, right? Like you can't,
100%.
like if I were to compare my now to her now, you know, that's not comparable. We're at different stages.
Exactly.
So there's that. But then also, I remember when I booked the videographer, Brittany, she's amazing. And as I was looking into this was like early stages of kind of getting the event like really solidified and together. And she asked me, she was like, you know, how many women are going to be in the room? And I was like, look, this is the vision, you know, 30 to 50. It's always 30 to 50. I said, worst case scenario, if it's just you and me, we're going to have a great day. And I am going to like get all this content. I'm still going to be the woman who brought it to life and made it happen. And I think there was so much power in that, knowing that absolutely irrelevant, regardless of how many women are in the room, even if anyone comes at all, I have become that version of me.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to say it how it is. That was a big part of it for me. And yes, of course, the movement and all of the impact and all of that, of course, is important. But it begun with me knowing that I wanted to build an in-person event.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And it grew from there. So, oh my God, I'm so excited for this.
No, I think you said something really important there as well about the comparison, and something you said earlier in the podcast about that, you know, becoming that individual, putting people on a pedestal. But for me, I can really relate to that, because I used to do that so much. I put people on pedestals, and especially before I kind of went through my own healing, I was looking for that external validation and that external reassurance. And I think you're so right. It's so easy, and people stop themselves, A, because they put them on a pedestal, and B, because they start comparing themselves to somebody else. Hello to your beautiful little one in the background. I love it.
Harriet, I'm going to pause us for 2 secs because there's someone at the doorbell. 2 minutes.
Oh, no worries. Go, go, go. Just before,
this is the beauty of homeschooling as well.
No, I love it. And I think, again, it's part of the real raw, right? It's showing mums that you don't need to let this stop you. You can do it all whilst you, and I think what a beautiful example to set your children as well, right? You're already teaching them that you can do what you put your mind to. You can do what you put your heart and soul in. So I think it's amazing. And hello to her. I forget where I was.
She always does it when I'm on podcast. It's like, Mom.
It's always the timing, right? For me, that always happens. I said to you earlier, I'm actually on the road now traveling to another event, but I always find at home, the only time an Amazon delivery comes is when I'm recording. Like, it's like, oh.
And she's got a water bottle coming, so she was like desperate for it. She's like, it's my water bottle.
Oh, bless her. That's beautiful. So very quickly, I'll just wrap up where we were. It's so easy to compare ourselves to others. And like you say, we kind of get in the small little voice going, oh, I'm not as good as them. Oh, I can't do it like them. And we forget to go bigger picture. And, you know, the lady I was just talking about, she's been doing it 40 years. Why would you compare yourself to that? And it's that, I know it's cliche, but it's true. Don't compare your step 1 or your step 3 or your step 5 to someone else's step 20. Yeah. Use it as inspiration. And I just think that's so magnificent that that's exactly what you're doing. And something that always helped me that I think everybody should hear, for anyone that puts people on a pedestal, which I know is some of you listeners, everybody poops. Everybody poops. Just remember that. And they might be, you know, there are speakers that are way beyond where I'm at right now. And I use that as inspiration. But I remember that there's other areas that I know more or I can share more. And we all have something to offer. It's that beautiful saying of everybody has something to learn. Everybody has something to teach. And we are all equal. So I love that you've brought that to the table. And I think it's another really important message.
Yeah. Amen to everything that you just said, because that literally is the epitome of, one, what kind of birthed Real and Raw in the first place, you know, like losing myself in all of that comparison and just feeling like so inferior and inadequate to everyone else, because what I was comparing myself to was curated content and superficial highlight reels, and there was no context. There was no like behind the scenes. There was no real and rawness of it's the full picture. Like, yes, okay, this is amazing. I had like 100K launch, but also last week I was like, dealing with my kids screaming around the house and on the floor crying. Yeah. And I think for me, a lot of people in the early days, they thought that Real and Raw was about the pain, right? It was about like the ebbs. It was about the darkness, because that's where it was born from. But it's not about that. It's about the full picture. It's like, we love success, of course. Like everyone in my world, all of us here, we are ambitious as hell. Like we've got we've got legacies to live. Like we are here to change the world for generations to come. Like that's a big deal. But also we're human. And like you said, Harriet, everyone poops. And equally, everyone has doubts. Everyone has moments and wobbles and fears and all of it. And for me, that is just like the heart and the breath and the soul of Real and Raw. It's all of it. It's the full human, the full picture, the 360 degrees. And when we share that, when we show that, that is what empowers, coming back to our beginning, right? That is what empowers everyone else to realize that they can do it too. And absolutely. I wish that I saw that when I had my moment, but obviously that's what brought.
But if you had, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this now.
Exactly.
It was such a beautiful way. And by the way, I jumped in there to say it, but I wanted to give a mic drop moment. Like, make sure you go and clip that little section, because you just spoke so beautifully about where this was born from and why it was born. And again, I feel honored and blessed, and it certainly wasn't this way at the beginning of my journey, but I feel so grateful to have shared this stage with some incredible speakers, some very well-known speakers. And exactly as you said, we might be warriors, we might be genius, we might be, everyone has their own word that they use to describe us, superheroes, whatever it might be. And yes, we are all of that, but we're also human. And I think that's so important. And therefore, naturally, there is a duality. You couldn't feel empowered unless you'd felt low and disempowered and questioned yourself and doubted yourself. You wouldn't understand empowerment. So all of these emotions and all of these feelings that we go through, that we're meant to. It's part of our experience. That's what I love to speak about so much. We are here to have an experience. And that means the dark and the light. It means the yin and the yang. It means all of it. But most importantly, it means choosing our response to those moments. And look at what you've done. You've gone through some of your immensely low and painful moments, and you've turned that into a movement to give yourself freedom, which then ripples into every single woman that comes into your space to give themselves permission to do exactly the same thing. So again, just kudos to you, and let's keep rising together.
Oh my God, Harriet. Oh God, I'm so excited to meet you in person. Like in 10 days, this is going to be incredible.
10 days.
Right. Without giving too much away, and I think probably everyone listening is already engaged it anyway, but just tell everyone, like give them a little sneak into what they can expect from your talk. I mean, like we need to, but we're going to do it anyway.
I love it. Well, again, just my real and raw truth is I don't know exactly what I'm going to say on the day, because I really believe as a speaker, and I think it's Les Brown that says, don't say what you want to say what the audience needs to hear. So my truth, while I used to be one of those people like years ago that wrote out a script and tried to memorize it, I know that a lot of what I share will be in the flow and the intuition of the moment. I don't know exactly where I'm speaking, but I'm imagining I'm going to connect with people. I'm imagining I'm going to hear other speakers. I'm going to hear shares, and I'm sure that will intertwine. But certainly the essence of what I'm sharing. Everybody take a deep breath, even if you're listening to this now. Yes, I am a speaker trainer. However, where do I believe all communication starts? Inside your mind. How do you speak to yourself? What is your story? And we've just had such a beautiful example. Claire is, as I've already said, showing and shining the example of what this event is about. When she was going through hard times, she didn't let that voice of doubt, like everybody say hello, not out loud, but say hello. That voice. She didn't let that voice and that story of, oh my God, we're not filling the room. Will I get enough people? I don't know if I can do this. The tech, like all the things that go into creating an event, right? And I honor you for doing it. She didn't let that voice stop her. She turned the story into what is possible. She turned the story into the vision. She turned the story into her own journey of empowerment, of liberating herself, of freeing herself, of showing up in a real, raw, authentic way that enabled this event and this movement to happen. So the essence of my talk, and we're going to do a super powerful visualization, is going to be, what is your story right now? Like, forget the shit, forget the mask, forget showing up. What is really going on inside of your mind? And then how do we lovingly let that go, lovingly accept where we are, and then choose how we are moving forwards and what story is the narrative for that. A little spark of what I'm offering.
A little spark. Can you even imagine the full fire? Like,
yes.
Oh my God, Harriet, I can't wait. I'm so...
I was just going to say, what about for you? You know, I think we've seen, we've heard, so I'm going to put you on the spot and say, perhaps what's one area that perhaps you haven't spoken to as boldly in podcasts and within your marketing, but what is one thing that you know that you are going to bring to this room?
Do you know, a little bit like you. So I haven't fully decided yet. And I think, and this might change, but where I'm leaning into at the moment is I'm going to deliver what I'm being told to deliver on that day. And I am probably going to speak about exactly what I'm feeling, right? Exactly how I've led myself through this past 6 months and what has come up for me and how I've shared about it, how I've showed it, and who it's made me that day. And I don't yet know that person. I haven't yet met that person. So yeah, it's a little bit like to be seen, but I can guarantee it's going to be real and it's going to be raw and it's going to be more human than you've ever heard before, because that's everything that I stand for. And it's just going to be exactly what it's meant to be.
Yes. And I think that's where real impact is made. I always say that the speakers make the deepest impacts are those that are open, vulnerable, real and raw in the moment, and speak from their heart, speak in the present moment as who they're showing up with, who they're showing up as in that moment and who they're showing up with in that moment. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. And again, I want to share this. I know you're also an awesome speaker trainer. It doesn't mean that public speaking isn't a skill. No? I mean, so many people, and I work with so many people that are like, I just want to flow, I just want to channel, and I love that. I do it too. But there's a skill in how you deliver what it is that you're sharing. So I want to honor again the work that you're doing, supporting some of the speakers that are going to be sharing, and of course your business in helping speakers really create an impact. I always say it's one thing to speak, it's another to impact. And being raw and real in the moment, but delivering it in an effective way, for me, that is a heart-centered speaker, that is a heart-centered leader, and that is someone that is going to make a difference and impact in the room. So I just cannot wait to meet you. I'm super excited for all the other amazing speakers, and of course every woman that's going to be in that room.
Absolutely. It's going to be such an incredible day for everyone involved, myself included, and I cannot wait. Like, you guys listening, if you're going to be there, drop in the comments in the podcast, let us know where you're traveling from. I would love to hear from you. I cannot wait to meet you, to hug you, to feel you, and to connect with you, because we are all rising together here. We're all going to be cracked open together, and we are all going to break through together, and I cannot wait. So that being said, I will see you guys in 10 days time. Well, it'll be 9 days when the podcast comes out. 9 days time, Sunday, 1st of June in London, in the most beautiful venue you've ever seen. It's London through and through, right? Like it's not just a boring soulless conference room. Like, it's very much beautiful architecture to really reflect who you already are. And one of the other speakers, actually, just quickly, I want to mention this. She reflected this back to me, and I love that. And she was like, this building, this venue, when she saw it, she just felt the generational abundance of that venue. Because it's like, a poor person didn't build that venue, right? Like hundreds of thousands of years ago, whatever it was. Like, it came from wealth. It came from a vision. It came from someone who made things happen before their time. And I was just like blown away. I was like, oh my God, yes, like we're tapping into that energy as well.
Well, I am such a believer in that. And I'll be honest, I don't know where we're speaking. I haven't seen the venue yet. So I'm even more excited to see the venue, to feel the energy within the venue. And it makes such a difference, the space that we're in. So again, it's all kudos to you and the vision of this event and what we're doing. So I'm excited to see it too. In fact, I need to go and look on the.
You're not going to go Google now.
I'm going to go check it out.
Oh my God, Harriet, I love you so much. I can't wait to see you there. And for you guys watching, we will see you at Real and Raw Live June the 1st in London. Mwah. Bye for now.